If you value your traditional culture and heritage, you feel maybe it's threatened by over-fast modernity, here's a story for you. Bhutan, the great Himalayan Buddhist civilization. Until just a couple of decades ago, there was no internet, there was no television, no mobile phones and so on. So the 21st century has arrived and had quite an impact. The local languages, the literature, and also the incredible oral traditions that, by definition, no one's written down, are all rather at risk of disappearing. An ambitious project called the Shejun Agency aims to use digital technology to preserve what other forms of digital technology are threatening, things like this rich and diverse oral heritage. Dr. Karma Phuntsho is leading the project. Now, he began by describing to me, and this is really interesting, how the terrain of the Himalayan country ended up influencing its language and customs.
It is made up of a very rough geographical terrain with high mountains, steep slopes, deep valleys, thick forests, big rivers. And this geographical terrain basically made the communities live very isolated lives. So it is mainly because of this rugged geographical terrain that the diversity of cultures and languages that we have today developed.
You've painted a picture of an incredibly rich area, but also, as I would guess it, a pretty fragile area when it comes to this. It wasn't until, I think, 1999, wasn't it, that television, internet began. Did you begin to see an impact on language and customs straight away on the arrival of those imported technologies?
Yes, in my lifetime, I have seen a major change sweeping across Bhutan in terms of cultural transformation. And that came through two ways, actually. The first one was the process of modernization, which the country itself sought actively through mainstream secular education, through modern biomedical facilities, through motor roads, through tourism. And then the second process is the process of globalization, which has come to Bhutan slightly later, through mainly TV and internet, and also a lot of visitors now. So through these two processes, a great deal of things started to change across the country. And imagine 40 years ago, Bhutan was pretty much unknown to the rest of the world. The first motor roads only came to Bhutan in 1960s. Telephone, for instance, came to my village in central Bhutan in 2003.
And how do you actually see that influence? I mean, is it amongst young people particularly? Are old people immune to it? Do you see languages falling out of use? What is the impact that you see?
The young has received so much influence that their mindset, their worldview, their behaviors are all seriously influenced by information coming from outside. And the older generation, people who are above 60, are people who still live in the traditional Bhutanese system. We have the state who have intervened fairly effectively to preserve a great deal of cultures. Legislations can only be effective to a certain extent, especially in terms of promotion of material culture, but not so much in terms of intangible oral cultures.
And that's the stuff that you're trying to capture, isn't it?
Yes, that's exactly our project, that we want to capture the intangible, the oral forms of Bhutanese culture. One, because we want to at least document them and keep recordings of them before they disappear. I often bring this example of the diversity in culinary recipes. If they're lost, that's not only for Bhutan, but for everyone.
Let's give an idea to our listeners of some of the things that you've been recording and preserving. You've shared with us some of the sounds that you want to make sure sort of remain for all the world and don't disappear. Let's listen to a ploughman singing to his own oxen, which is fascinating. This is what it sounds like. Tell us a little bit more about that. This is a tradition, is it, of Bhutanese farmers talking to their bulls while they plough?
This song is very endearing in that the ploughman speaks to his oxen and says, "I am the bodhisattva, the altruistic, compassionate ploughman. The yoke that is on your neck is a golden cross, and the thread to bind the yoke is a golden chain, he says. The reins are golden and silver ropes. The plow is like a golden dagger, and the whip is a young willow shoot, he says. And then he encourages the oxen to plow better.
Dr. Karma Phuntsho, fantastic. What more can you ask for, describing the sound of a Bhutanese farmer serenading his oxen in a local language, only on Newsday.